Welcome to S3D Gamer Zone. I'm Rico Star, and today we're going to be reviewing World of Warcraft in S3D. But first, I'd like to introduce to you Vanine and 3D.Me, also known as 3. They'll be joining us for the review. Stay tuned to the end of the video, and I'll tell you how you can join Warcraft's first 3D Guild, where members can get together and talk about their 3D setups and their gaming experiences. It's been called the most popular game in the world, currently holding the Guinness World Record for the most subscriptions in an MMORPG, boasting over 11.5 million. It's grown to be part of video game pulp culture, stirring up conventions, music, and video parodies across the internet. There's even been talk of a possible movie on the horizon. It was announced back in September of 2001 and was officially released to the public on November 23rd of 2004. By April in 2008, it was estimated that Warcraft had held 62% of the MMORPG subscriptions in the market. Shown to you today in stereoscopic 3D, I present to you the king of MMOs, World of Warcraft. With patch 3.8, NVIDIA 3D users were able to get a much cleaner 3D experience, as it's addressed some of the issues that were previously making the game difficult to play in 3D. Unfortunately for Windows 7 64-bit users, as more weekly patches came out, some of the anomalies came back. The interface, map, and chat bar sometimes can be misaligned and at the wrong depth. Besides from the interface problems, many users have also reported a flickering while playing in certain locations in the game. Although the issue has not been pinpointed, there seems to be a way to reduce, but not completely get rid of the flickering. I won't be able to show you the effects of this in the video because it's only present in the shutter glasses and not on the screen. This is suggesting there may be a syncing problem. To help reduce the flickering, you have to go back into your 3D setup and run your setup wizard. When you pick your IR emitter environment, you're not going to pick the recommended setup. Instead, you'll choose the one in the middle, designed for one or more gaming computers in the same room. Next, when choosing your hertz, you'll pick 110. This is not a fix, but it does seem to reduce the amount of flicker. At this time, there's no permanent solution. Also, after you've zoned to new areas, you may have to repeat the same steps. For Vista users, you might experience a different predicament and may have to find other ways to solve them. After you've gone through these steps, and Warcraft is more easily playable, you'll be able to enjoy the game and some of the greater 3D effects it produces. Now that we have talked a little about some of the drawbacks, we're now going to focus on some of the positives. One of my favorite effects when playing a game in 3D is when there's a balance of depth and pop-out. This is where Warcraft really shines. It can produce depth and even greater pop-out effects. Your character can come out of the screen as much as 2 inches while maintaining a good depth. Here, you can see 3D.Me walking past other players at the crossroads in the Barrens. As he's walking by other players, they come right out of the screen. It's this delicate combination of pop-out and depth in Warcraft that allows you to get a deeper immersive feeling to your gaming environment, and also allows you to understand and perceptualize the strength and presence of other players in the game. When playing Warcraft in 3D, simple things like walking with your fellow teammates can pull you into an atmosphere that seems almost tangible, as you can sense and see the presence that 3D.Me and his group makes in the gaming world. Focusing on just depth, you can see here flying to the crossroads that creating depth in Warcraft is not a problem. The distances from the ground can be easily distinguishable and can even produce a small feeling of acrophobia. Other NPCs may seem small from this height, but generally you have an idea how far away they are. Azeroth is a beautiful place to explore in 3D, with amazing vistas and lush dense forests teeming with life.
Although a beautiful and at times tranquil place to be, it can also be a dangerous one. Enemies are waiting to attack you at any chance they can. We're now going to focus on how Warcraft's combat fares up in 3D. It's a cruel world and a PvP battleground. Here expect your enemies to be merciless and actively seek you out to destroy you. If you're not capable of defending yourself, you'll simply die. Players here have little time to react, so it's a kill or be killed environment. But how does stereoscopic 3D fit into the picture here, and does it help you or hinder you on the battleground? Besides from some of the interface anomalies, Warcraft in 3D does very little to hinder your combat skills, as most PvPers will have macros set up, so targeting your enemies is not really an issue. But in the terms of the experience you get, the combat is visceral and exciting. The added depth and immersion into the game allows you to fully appreciate your enemy's presence and can make you feel like you're being attacked by an actual person as opposed to a video game character. For me, this added realism pulls me into the battleground and makes me feel more powerful, as you can get a better understanding for the damage you do to your enemies. Occasionally, you'll get into battles where many characters will be covering your field of view. This may make it harder for you to see who's actually attacking you in 3D. However, this is easily avoidable by simply panning outwards and repositioning your camera. Overall, PvP combat in Warcraft in 3D is seemingly fluid, adding much more to the experience than what it takes away from. The battles can be intense here, as there can be as many as a dozen players attacking in your area, and depending on how powerful your system is, you may find your frames per second taking a little bit of a dive. Due to the nature of 3D gaming, your system needs to have a little bit more horsepower to have your games run smoothly in 3D. By taking a look at my system specs, you can compare them to your own. That'll give you a better idea how Warcraft will run on your system in 3D. On average, I maintain 25 frames per second, but if you're finding you're not getting an adequate FPS, you can always reduce the shadows in the game, as this significantly increases them. So now that we've discussed how Warcraft looks, feels, and even how it can affect your gameplay mechanics when playing in 3D, I'm now ready to give it my final rating. But before we get into it, there's a couple of things that we need to consider. Players having to go into their video setup and adjust their convergence before every game in order to get the interface to realign is an inconvenience, to say the least. The potential for the game to become an amazing full S3D experience is there, but based on MTBS's 3D Game Analyzer, WoW results as a 7 out of 10. However, I would like to say that if you can look past these issues and you are ready to take the leap into Azeroth in 3D, I would still highly recommend it. You'll even have a guild here waiting for you when you join. I've started Warcraft's first 3D guild. So if you do have a 3D system, or you just want to know more about Warcraft in 3D, this is the guild to be a part of. The server we're located on is Blackhand, the faction is Horde, and the guild name is called Meant to Be in 3D. So just send that PM to 3D me in the game, and I'll help you get started in the guild. That's the end of the review, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please rate, comment, or subscribe. I'm Rico Star, and this is S3D Gamer Zone. Take care, guys.